moment you clicked on this video, the countdown started. I personally don't advise to allow your wife to have social media.
Wallahi man, 10 years of my life, wasted 10 years of productivity just because I tried to...
I don't believe that Muslims should do social media.
Kill you, shank you, stab you, pull out your eyes, spit on your face. That's mad, right?
You stand there like, yo, egg me.
Huh? Remember the hair? The hair beat the turtle.
The turtle beat the hair.
It's a tortoise.
Alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah, amma ba'd, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Brothers and sisters, welcome back to another episode of Chai with my Bhai, where we help you excel in your deen and your dunya. But brothers and sisters, there's a war raging right now. The moment you clicked on this video, a countdown started. This war is not happening in some far distant land. It's right here and it's right now. And that is the war for your attention. And let's see how far you make it in this war by measuring how long you last on this video. Because we live in a day and an age where attention has become a currency. Attention has now become something that these big corporate companies farm. Like in the Matrix, they used to farm electricity from humans. Now they farm attention from humans and they've monetized attention. To the point where now some of these short form content companies, like for example TikTok, themselves have demonetized short form content, which is below 1 minute, because even the ads now that they want to give attention to don't get attention, because people have just become so tuned to just scroll, hit dopamine, scroll, hit dopamine. And this has led to a generation of brothers and sisters, they're called millennials, right?
I don't know.
Gen Z, Gen X, millennials?
One of them ones.
Whichever one it is, who can't concentrate, who can't sit down, give time to particular tasks or whatever it might be, a hobby or something in life for prolonged periods of time because their attention span has been reduced to that of a goldfish or elephant?
Goldfish.
Goldfish. So, the first question. What are some of the causes of procrastination?
Honestly, I don't really know. I've tried to figure out, I don't think there's a universal cause for everyone who procrastinates. I feel like there might be. In fact, I'm inclined to the belief that there actually is. But I don't know if there is like a kernel underneath all this stuff. Like inside, there's like one core thing that they all share.
There could be a few. So what are some of the causes?
Lack of prioritization. That's a big one.
Lack of prioritization.
I don't think that's the cause. I think
if you aspire to be a successful entrepreneur but don't have an idea of where to start, which business route to go down, then we might be able to help you. At the Umrah Setup 2.0, we've been helping brothers set up their own successful and profitable Umrah companies. If that sounds like something that you'd be interested in, then click the link below, jump on a call with one of our team to see if this program is the right fit for you. With that said, let's get back into the episode, inshallah.
the opposite of that is a potential solution, but I don't think that's the cause.
No, I don't know if it's a cause, but it definitely is one of the reasons why people procrastinate.
So you're saying...
Because...
Sorry to interrupt you, but what you're essentially saying there is that procrastination isn't only not doing anything, it's doing things in the wrong priorities. If you know this is more important, you have to get this done today.
Yeah.
You're still doing work that's due next week. That's procrastination.
Yeah, and lack of prioritization coupled with the fact that you want to avoid pain. Like as in, look, in the Quran and Sunnah, Allah Azza wa Jalla motivates us through incentives to do good, so we get reward, or warnings warnings of punishment if we do bad. These are two things that kind of motivate a person, right? Ar-raghba and rahba, the desire to want, the fear the fear of being, the fear of punishment or hardship or difficulty, or the desire for good or relaxation or comfort.
And hope for reward.
Yeah, and I also came across this principle in this book called Awaken the Giant Within by Tony Robbins. It's actually
Wow, that's a throwback.
Yeah, it's one of the first books.
Do you know who's got that? I do.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I got your copy.
Is that what it went?
Yeah.
Mad thing.
So was that consensual?
Yeah,
probably.
it was given.
Okay. Yeah, probably. But it's a very good book to be honest. It's got some problematic issues, but just because he's got a chapter, he talks about fear and desire. Does that make sense? And he mentions that one of the ways to kind of overcome procrastination is to make the fear real. He mentions like a person, for example, who's overweight, and they're procrastinating getting into a diet or exercising, whatever have you. He said they obviously have a fear, the fear of heart disease. They have a fear of, not getting the partner that they want, or the spouse that they want for marriage. And they say that they want to leave off this food or whatever. But he says they've got a secondary fear. Does that make sense? And the secondary fear is more present in the short term, which is the fear of missing out on that cake. You want that cake, bro. Do you understand? Now. So he's scared that he's going to get heart disease 10 years from now. But he's also scared that, bro, I'm not going to get cake today. I'm not going to be able to satisfy my taste buds or get my dopamine hit or whatever have you today. So what you have to do is you have to leverage enough pain and suffering in the moment. Does that make sense? If you were to not do what you have to do. And there's different ways that you can do that.
For example?
So I remember one thing that Abbas, you might have said this to me as a passing comment, but it really had a huge impact on me in terms of the way I manage my schedule. So obviously there's a bunch of things that I want to do that are very important to me. Okay, memorize the Quran, seek knowledge, work on my business, spend time with my family, this, that. There's a bunch of things that you want to do in a day, and you make a schedule. Does that make sense? So if you miss one of those things, if you've got a schedule and you've mapped out everything, you know what you're doing, you've got a tight-knit schedule, which means if you move one thing around, something else suffers. Mm-hmm. So he said to me, if you miss something, it's gone. The opportunity to do that forever.
Okay.
As in, it's gone now. What we usually do is we will force it in, like we're in a spiral of what? Just moving things around and just messing up our priorities and doing the wrong thing at the wrong time purely just because we procrastinated earlier. And I just got to fit it in. So I'll end up, for example, spending time with my kid at the time I was supposed to memorize Quran, and I'll be memorizing Quran at the time I was supposed to work on my business, and then I'll be then I won't work on my business, or I'll work on my business at the time I was supposed to work on my kid. Because if you actually know your schedule, you map everything out, once you miss that window of opportunity, and
throws everything else off.
And you're conscious of how much you have to do in the day, you've got it all mapped out to the T, then you will come to the realization that I actually can't fit this anywhere else. As in, that's gone. The opportunity to do that now has actually gone forever. Does that make sense? Now, if it is a massive priority, you may then put it in and remove something else from your schedule, but then that thing's gone forever, which means that is a moment you will never, as in, if I, for example, don't do my Quran in the morning, I know that I do not have any other moment within the day to fit that in. If I do fit that in, I'm infringing on someone's rights, some responsibility somewhere down the line. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So in the morning now, I'm like, okay, cool. I really have to make sure I get this done because that's gone now. Do you understand? It's gone. So that's one thing that personally helps me.
And I think, you mentioned the issue of making the pain or the fear a reality. And I think that's really profound, because how many people do we know of that fear of losing or fear of something caused them to wake up, for example. Like when COVID came, a lot of people had near-death experiences, and that wakes you up because we all know we're going to die.
Like, instead of on autopilot, you start actually being present in the moment.
And the consequence is actually over your neck.
Yeah.
So it's like that with, when you know your deadline is due for your work, when you know that your rent payment is due. That's why you say this all the time. That's a lot of people, they only seem to perform when the
pressure is on.
When the pressure is really on. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, that's when the consequences is looming over your head. Yeah. And if you don't perform, then.
But the jarring thing is that when you do that. So this is when I told you the issue about prioritization. So I read this book many years ago, almost 10 years ago. In fact, over 10 years ago. It's called The 1 Minute Manager, and he mentions this.
Did you give that to me?
I think I probably did.
Yeah, because I got that as well.
Yeah, it's a very good book. So did you read it?
Yeah, I did.
So he talks about this concept of triaging your priorities. Does that make sense? So basically, he mentions that when you go to the hospital, sometimes you've been there 5 hours, and people that came in 2 hours ago are just going in before you. Sometimes a person's come in 1 minute and has been seen within the next 10 minutes. Does that make sense? It's because there's a nurse called a triage nurse, and her job is to triage, i.e. to work out who is here with the greatest priority and who's got the highest risk.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're sitting there with a headache and someone else comes in with a bullet hole, you can't be a Karen
Be
and
like,
say,
yo,
why the
I
hell
waited here for 10 hours.
is that person getting seen?
This guy has to wait for another 10 hours.
Now, I want you to imagine you're in a situation, like for example, just may Allah make it easy for our brothers and sisters in Gaza right now. For example, just imagine you're in one of the hospitals there. People are coming in with trauma, like, you know what I'm saying, like missing limbs, this, that, and the other. And let's just say you've got a flu or a COVID even. Does that make sense? I can imagine that you might be in the list. You might be waiting for a month before you get seen. Like as in realistically, like as in you're dealing with amputating limbs, this, that, people like crazy situations. So now,
May Allah protect our brothers.
may Allah make things easy for them. I mean, now,
No, but you need to contextualize that. The reason is because it's not because your issue is not important. It's because the resources are scarce. So we have to use them with the issues, the matters that are most pressing now, and we'll come on to matters that are in relativity
Likewise with life.
less pressing.
Time is
so the
It
point
doesn't
is,
mean that your issue is not important. It just means there are other things that we have to deal with.
right,
For our right
which
to
is the
preserve
point
life.
that, like in life, I'm sure everything that you've got to do is important for you. Does that make sense?
Yes.
But here's the thing: not everything is of dire need and as of great importance as everything else. Does that make sense? Now, if you don't actually actively sit there and think and ask yourself, wait, okay, which of these tasks is a priority? You will naturally go towards the thing that gives you instant gratification. You will naturally go towards the thing that's easiest, and you'll go towards the thing that you like or enjoy the most, but that might not be the most beneficial thing for you. Like, for example, you could be, you know that you've got an assignment due, but you're too busy playing a game because, you know, the game's important. The game's fun. Does that make sense? But it's not more important than the assignment. I don't think anyone would dispute and argue that me doing my assignment is going to be more important than playing this game. So what the book says is that actively every day, either before you sleep, write out a list of all of the tasks that you have to do, or in the next morning when you wake up, write a list of all the tasks that you have to do, then prioritize them. And you'll realize that a task that in your mind you'll probably think, I'm going to come to 6th, 7th, or 8th. Does that make sense?
It needs to be first.
It needs to be first. Now, here's the thing. If you don't make it first, what will happen is that the day will go and you wouldn't have got it done. Then the next day will go and you wouldn't have got it. Because you can't physically do all of those things in one day. And what happens is that now you're like, oh, snap, there's a deadline in 2-3 days, 1 week. Now you're going to get down to it. But you know what you're going to do? You're going to cram. You know, and you're not going to perform at the highest quality. Does that make sense? And you're going to do a half-baked job, which is what happens with some people when it comes to business. For example, like we've seen this, right? Sometimes we're trying to do a launch. We know that if we start this 3-4 months before, we can get all the work out of the way early. In fact, we realized even when we started 3-4 months before, we still ended up cramming the last one because there's so much more that's needed that we didn't even realize when we were always doing things last minute. Does that make sense? And you do a half-baked job. Huh?
That's why you need a checklist.
You need a checklist, does that make sense? But people don't like to use checklists, that's the issue.
SubhanAllah.
And they fight it. SubhanAllah. Look at the irony. Tons will fight checklists and then they'll say on podcast, you need a checklist. Look at that.
The wisdom.
So point being is that you have to just know your priorities. Do you understand? You have to map them out.
I feel like another big problem is being disciplined. Because being motivated, getting motivated is relatively easy. Motivation will get you to start. But discipline is what will keep you going. And I find that in my personal life, like discipline, it's a across the board thing. It's not just if your discipline slacks in one area. For example, let's just say there's a day where I'm feeling tired and I'm not going to go to the gym for whatever reason. I'm not going to go work out. That same day, I'll eat more junk food than I would have otherwise eaten. I'll spend more time on social media than I would have otherwise spent on social media. I'll do less work on that day because I get distracted by other things more so. And it all started with the one thing. Whereas if I started off discipline, I have to go work out no matter what. I'll go to the workout. That sets the tone for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
That sets the tone for the rest of the week. That week sets the tone for the rest of the month. That month sets the tone for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
But it all starts in the smallest increment, which is that first, when you wake up in the morning, what are you going to do? Are you going to check your phone? Or you can go have a cold shower?
But you know one thing that's really important though, bro, yeah?
Do you do that? Cold shower?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Do you do that?
I did, but for some reason my apartment
Doesn't
it's
get
not
cold
cold
enough.
anymore.
Yeah,
but yeah, it was really
That's
cold
a-
shower thing was
that's a
beautiful.
you thing.
But you know what one problem is though, and I suffered from this for a long time, is trying to become disciplined in too many things at one go. And what you have to understand is with everything in life, bro, you need to
This is a good conversation.
yeah, you need to build
What do you mean by that? Too many things.
Okay, so for example, I've had moments in my life where I've like made my schedule, my plan. I memorize Quran. I memorize 2 pages a day. I'm gonna do 3 lessons. I'm gonna go to the gym. I'm gonna train and work out, work on my business. I'm gonna pray all my prayers in the masjid. And you know what, bro? Nothing gets done. And brothers, please take this from me. If you're a person like me who's hasty, who just wants to do khair, wallahi man, 10 years of my life, I honestly believe I wasted 10 years of productivity just because I tried to take on too much. And now, what you do is you flip it. You start, I was like, okay, cool, I'm trying to memorize the Quran. So I'm trying to do 2 pages a day. And I can do 2 pages, but I had to bring it all down, bro.
2 pages a day is a lot, bro. That's a lot. Damn.
I know.
Is that what you started with?
No, as in, I started with like half a page. And I was like, let me just do 2 pages a day.
Bro, when I first started, I was doing half a page a week.
Yeah, but my point is...
That's about a line a day.
You
One line.
You build up to it. So now I've got this thing in my mind. I started with, Allah bless Shaykh Khalid, our teacher from Egypt. Wallahi, he's the one who drilled us in my head. Imran, the Prophet said, the most beloved actions to Allah are the ones that are what? Consistent. Even if it's small. He said, Wallahi, if you just pray witr, if after Ramadan, you want to start praying the night prayer, right? Because you've been doing tarawih. If you're not used to night prayer outside Ramadan, bro, just 1 witr. Do that for a year. And every year just add 2 rak'at. Like,
wow, that's sick. No, but that specific thing, as in the concept of telling people go slow and steady, it's like generic advice. But that specific thing is really good, which is you start off with 1, and then after 1 year, now you can do 3, and after that year, now you can do 5. And that's all that's been asked of you.
Compounding interest.
Yeah.
So point is, you do that with business, do that with work. Like, for example, when we started MMA.
Like
it's not compounding, it's fixed interest.
When we started MMA, like this time, I'll be honest with you, I was really tested with it. Because I'm a very competitive guy. Does that make sense? So you start going to MMA, like I think a couple of weeks before me, and that already annoyed me. Because I was like, how's it? Because it was very easy to headlock Abu Bakr.
Yeah, from behind when I was 18 years old.
Doesn't matter, bro.
Without me knowing, just pull up behind me, headlock me.
But it doesn't
Try
matter.
it not
Bro,
regret.
but what happened was he started going MMA now. Obviously, we didn't strike in the face. So in my mind, I was like, that motivated me. Obviously, that's the benefit of having brothers that are actually doing things around you. It's
I went to the
contagious.
gym yesterday for the first time in a long time.
You went back, yeah? So that's why you started talking to me.
Chest and tricep.
But you know, the moment you said that, it just did something to me.
Wow, so nice.
I have to go to the gym now.
That's why I mentioned it.
Yeah, I love it. It's good. But here's the thing. So I said to myself, cool. You know what?
Oh, she's just gonna get a revenge body and just pull up on you.
So anyway, what happened was we started going now. We're going 2 days a week, and even that I was struggling with, to be honest, because I got so much going on. So in my mind, I said to myself, I'm gonna go 1 day a week at the very least, and which is why I made sure every weekend at least I would come for 1 day. But this brother right here, Alam Balik, was going on the weekdays as well. And
No.
you start at the beginning. At the beginning,
Before
at the
our
beginning.
classes.
No,
Yeah,
even
before our
during our
classes
classes.
started. No.
Let me just tell the story, my version. If you don't believe, you don't believe. But this is what I believe that happened.
Don't believe.
This is what happened. This is my recollection. So he started going into the classes for a couple of weeks. Does that make sense? He was going the week. He was getting good because obviously he's training more. Does that make sense? Allah Barik. So we did sparring, and I was like, nah, this is getting long. I have to get on point. So in my mind, I was like, you know what? Money. I'm gonna start coming to the evening class as well. But I said to myself,
When did you say that?
in my mind.
Oh,
So I said to myself, nah, you know what, brother? You know if you go to the evening class, it's going to set your schedule into chaos. Remember the hair? The hair beat the turtle.
the turtle beat the hair.
It's a tortoise. It's a big difference.
I'm trying to be deep and then messed up the story. So the tortoise.
Man combined between turtle and tortoise. And it reached turtles.
The tortoise. What's the difference?
There's a big
One's I
difference.
think in the water only, one's water and land.
Yeah.
Alright, so the tortoise beat the hare. So I said to myself, calm, I'm just going to do this thing. And then and in my mind slightly, I was thinking, it's not going to be consistent with anyway. I know this, brother.
No, I was there.
No, I'm talking
Wow.
about the weekday ones.
No, weekday. That's where you're grossly mistaken.
Wait.
Once we started the weekend classes, I stopped the weekdays. I only went twice. Once was to record content for Coach. Second time was I was waiting for my dad and granddad to land at Dubai airport.
So point being
so
is that in my mind, I was like, you know what, slow and steady wins the race. And I can't lie. I started to get it back. Allahumma barik. You know what I'm saying? But now, obviously, Coach injured himself and we have to...
There's a new coach, but I have to just go there and chat to him.
Patent it, please, inshallah.
But in the meantime, I've started going to the gym.
Very
so
good.
Maybe you might want to jump on.
Yeah,
as well.
inshallah. I mean,
Where do you go?
In my building.
Oh,
point is consistency. Yeah, as in, man can't go from doing nothing to doing everything. And like,
Even I've made that mistake in so many things. Like I remember with diet, like bro, there's so many times where I've just cut off sugar completely. I've said, bro, there was a 1 week where all I ate was fruit.
yeah, I remember that.
And then I said, I'm going to do this for a month. And after like eight days, I just put a pizza in the oven and ate a pizza. Man, could have gone to like roast chicken or like healthy, but
But like, I can't like, it's
can't go to extremes.
yeah. The thing is of step by step is deep and it compounds. What like really compounds, man. So like for example, even like lessons wise. So there's one sheikh that I study with online. There's a Sheikh Khalid from Egypt. And I do 2 hours a day with him 6 days a week. But in my mind, I was like, you know what, bro, let me just dash on another hour or two. But then I was like, bro, it doesn't make sense because I haven't perfected the 2 hours. Like I haven't got into the habit of 2 hours, energetic, focus, no issues. You know what I'm saying? Alhamdulillah, now I just added on an extra 3 lessons, like short little half an hour ones, but only for 2 weeks, just to see, can I commit to it? Not, you know what I'm saying? Like the point is you gotta build slowly, and in 10 years, bro, you'll be a beast, inshallah.
Let's come to social media. I feel like social media is.
I feel like this is where we're talking about something different. The question you asked is how, or rather, the conversation is about procrastination. But I know we're talking about priority. Can you explain how they are inextricably linked?
Yeah. So point is that if you don't get your priorities right, you end up
not
procrastinating things that you're supposed to do.
True.
Does that make sense? But you're right, to be honest, we haven't really got too
social media now, bringing it back.
The point about pain and instant gratification,
that's the point. I like that.
So with social media now, we live in a day and age where, brothers and sisters, if you're watching this, pause the video, go to your settings, check your screen time. How much time did you spend on Instagram, Snapchat?
You know, if you tell them to do that,
TikTok,
some of them might not come back because they'll see notifications.
Let's test your willpower.
No, do it at the end.
Let's test your willpower.
Let's not test it.
I like let's test it. Go on.
I want to see on the, because we can see on our stats. So I'll look at this timestamp and I'll look how many of you guys left, how many of you guys
came
came
back. And also you should comment below if you went to check and you still came back.
I made it. See, I made it back.
You know, sometimes
Let us know you made it back.
You know, sometimes when I'm watching a video like a podcast, someone tells me to click away for something or check something.
I could end up in a rabbit hole.
No, in my mind,
go from watching
you
a
know
video
what I do in my
about-
mind? In my mind, I'm like, that was my reason to turn away from the video. I actively said to get over, bro. I'm gone.
We do that in real life. Now we look for ways out, man, sitting in the room. Okay, you like bananas? You know what? Let me go buy you a banana and just disappear into the wilderness. They pop up a year later. So, social media. I feel like we live in a day and age where social media is a big problem. Now, I don't know if we can blame social media or if we can blame the people, but either way, it's a problem.
It's not just social media.
I actually don't think you can blame the social media companies at all. They are capitalist in their nature, and their mind is that if there is a product that somebody is willing to buy, somebody else should sell it.
I think
right?
Can be a level of blame placed.
As in the way they manipulate people to stay on the platform, perhaps. But I'm saying, bro, at the end of the day, it's the person's own willingness that keeps them involved. At the end of the day, it's something that you use for free.
Yeah, but also it's like, for example, drug dealers. Would you say it's the nitty's fault because he keeps going back and it's his choice?
Yeah.
Or do the drug dealers have blame for providing
No,
service
of course,
in the first place?
perhaps, but that's something that is inherently evil, isn't it? It's not. You'd
No,
have
you
to
have
use
to
a different
understand,
example.
like,
You'd have to use an example like junk food. That's
Yeah,
a better.
I believe social media
That's better.
is inherently evil. Yes, there's some people that might use it
Really?
for good. Yeah, man, bro, that's a mad thing, bro.
But look what the khair they have on social
It's
media.
made,
bro.
yeah, so there are some. I believe that's exception.
But no,
Generally
everything-
speaking,
isn't that what everything is?
I don't believe that Muslims, generally speaking, should be on social media.
I do
There's
agree.
a specific reason for you to be there.
I do agree with that as well. I tell people not to be on social media. They've got a business starting or whatever have you. Look, my thing is, I wouldn't talk about social media. I would talk about distractions in general.
I believe that social media is the primary
Not necessarily. I believe a bigger
distraction rather in this day and age that we live in.
Not necessarily. WhatsApp could be a bigger distraction.
That is a form of social media.
That's if you've got friends.
As in, technically, it comes under the technical definition of social media, but it's not like when you think of social media, you don't think of WhatsApp.
I'm talking about WhatsApp as well. Like you're meant to be doing work and you're just
So
sat
the issue
there
is your phone.
on the group chat.
So
your phone. That's
yeah.
what I'm trying to
So
get
I think then the issue is just distractions in general. Does that make sense?
Like I remember, wallahi, one period of time where I was like, I would say the most productive possibly of my entire life, and even like the most just clear of mind was when I first started practicing and I deleted all my social medias for like a year.
Over it was a couple of years.
No, because then you told me to make the Aki Abu Bakr, and I started going to the beef with the Mawlid Imam, and then it was just chop, chop.
Oh,
chop,
but then
chop,
when
chop.
you got rid of that for a couple of years.
Then I got rid of that for a couple of years as well. And it's just so freeing. Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can't
for real.
even explain. It's like, wallahi, I recommend everyone just try it. Like, even if you don't believe you're a nitty in your mind, no
Not just
problem.
that, but also you can, if you can't make it, you can reactivate your account.
You can reactivate it.
Yeah. So just as a thought experiment,
Just as a
when you ask
experiment.
an actual addict, you say,
Just
listen,
see the
can you
difference.
just, so you say to them, can you quit smoking? And they're like, yes, I can. And you're like, okay, just as an experiment,
Prove it
just
to
try
me.
it. Just try it.
You can go
just,
back to it after.
Just try and show me that for 1 week you can't, you will stop
promise
smoking.
you.
I know,
I
but
promise
social
you,
media
you'll
is
see,
for people
you'll
who run
see.
businesses
You're a
and
nit-
whatnot.
That's what I'm saying.
It's not.
It's a necessary evil.
No, it's
If you need it.
If you need it. So what? I mean, look, if you can get rid of social media, it's the best case scenario. But let's just say you can't for every reason. Then there's some things that you could definitely do to make the situation better. Number one.
Let's talk about those.
Number one. Do you guys know about grayscale?
Grayscale. the
Grayscale.
company.
No, it's grayscale, right? When you turn your phone grey.
Oh, yeah, sure, yeah.
So just type in YouTube tutorial on how to make your screen grey. It's actually been scientifically proven.
Inaccessibilities, it's called color filters.
What he said. So it's actually been scientifically proven. Does that make sense? To
Sure,
reduce screen time. And I can't lie, it sucks the life. It sucks the joy. It's
That's what your phone looks like afterwards.
let me see. Or try watch a
So mad.
try watch a video. Like it's weird.
You know what's funny? At the end of it, yeah, when you turn it back onto color again, you feel like, whoa.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, what am I seeing now?
So
you know?
so the mad situation is this, that I don't even watch videos.
Where is it?
I
me show you
listen
one.
to like lectures and videos with my AirPods in when I'm doing something, put my kid to sleep on the treadmill. If I put grayscale on, if I look at the video that I wasn't even intending to look at, I was just listening to it. I actually just I won't even listen to it. Like it sucks the life out of it. It's proper. So that's the first tip. Yeah. Let me give you the second tip, my brother. The second tip is turn off notifications. Now,
Yeah, that's big.
I actually
That's
talked to
big.
Yeah, I
Turning
actually-
off notifications
I actually
is
talked
huge.
to us.
That's actually what I think you should mention. You know, if you are addicted to social media and you want to stop, like you've accepted, I have a problem. You've first accepted that you have a problem. The first step, I believe, the easiest step to leaving social media is to turn off notifications. Because the truth is, you will get notifications that even if you're not active, like say for example, you got Instagram, and you're not active on Instagram, Instagram will send you a notification after a couple of days because you haven't been using it that will say something like, check out the latest reels in your area. I know because I'll spend 3-4 days off of Instagram and then I'll get a notification saying, oh yeah, check out the latest
what you
reels.
missed. You're
Yeah,
trying to
something
be
like
fair.
that. Exactly. So
Trying to bring you back.
just turn off all the notifications and that's the first step. Then you realize, wait, I don't even need this anymore. And then eventually you'll turn it off yourself.
Yeah, big time.
That's actually how I left Twitter.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
People don't know he was actually a legend on Twitter. He actually went viral.
I don't know about all that, but
No, you went viral.
basically,
So people don't know.
basically,
What was your Twitter name? Just
I-
so they can
I don't
remember.
know. I don't even-
No, just drop it in there, bro.
it's a
There's
long
gonna be
time
people
ago.
there's gonna be people in the comments that go say, "Oh snap, that was you."
Yeah. No, but that's a good thing.
Did you have your face on it?
No,
No,
that's what
he
I'm saying.
didn't.
Yeah.
I just got created a ruckus on Twitter, you know.
Yeah.
Was he the swallow feet?
No,
No, that was
someone
another
else.
brother.
That was someone else.
We need to bring Solid back.
Obviously, I know.
Yeah.
So anyway,
You know, I think he might be internally ready to
Really?
do a podcast. Yeah.
he's booked it.
I haven't, no. But
So
not
it's
about this
revealed.
particular subject.
Solid revealed.
No, as in, I feel like he might be ready to do a podcast with us, you know.
Really?
Yeah.
Then come pull up, man.
Yeah,
Inshallah.
nice, yeah.
So look, next
Be
thing.
nice to reconnect on old topics.
Yeah, 100%. Talk about when you guys used to go around pelting eggs at people because, you know, when the people that were doing evil, you'd go and smash them with rotten
Yeah,
eggs, right?
we'll try and help them.
Like you'd-
This has to get cut out, honestly.
No,
bro.
that's not getting cut out.
It's
It's not
literally,
getting
it's
cut out.
actually illegal. It's actually illegal.
But I never said you did it without
You're
their
implicating
consent.
me in a crime.
I never
bro.
said you did without their consent.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Yeah,
you guys, like, yo, egg me. What kind of fetish is that, bro? I just stand there like, yo, egg me. Anyway, come back to the point.
So, would you
Turn
go?
off your notifications. Grayscale.
Grayscale.
Yes.
Cool. Now, here's another thing. This is a big one, yeah. Wallah, this is a big one. This is a big one.
Got 2 separate phones.
I noticed, don't use, that's another one.
I actually have 2 phones.
Yeah.
Well, one's for work.
That's another one. So I got so many tips for phones because I have deep this thing so much in my life. Because this I've been fighting this for years. Alhamdulillah. Allah has given me success somewhat. I mean, oh, alhamdulillah. So
Alhamdulillah.
one,
What do you
yeah,
say, Ameen?
one big thing is in the morning. Yeah, let that not be the first thing you see. And I'll tell you why. I actually noticed, yeah, that a couple of days ago, I was going to pray Fajr in the masjid. And I woke up and I looked at my phone before I went to the salah. And I got distracted by something. I can't remember what it was. It was a video of something. And it really mashed my khushu' up, man.
In the salah.
Yeah, because what you have to understand is when you've woken up, it's kind of like your mental vessel is empty. Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
100%. That's actually a really good point.
All your pistons are firing and
Yeah, but
Yeah.
even when I was practicing, even when I was not practicing, I couldn't listen to music first thing in the morning. I actually couldn't. I was like, something about this is wrong. You know, like I'm on the bus, on the train, going to college or secondary school. Oh, no, I was going to college, and I'm like, I can't listen to grime right now. I'm not in the mood. You know, like I'm just too peaceful
Yeah,
to
it's
listen
just-
to these aggressive people shouting at me in the
Kill
mic.
you, shank you, stab you, pull out your eyes, spit on your face. Like, it's mad, like.
okay.
Exactly.
It's
So
nasty.
yeah.
The truth
But I
is
think
that,
that's because of what you just said, which is that the mental vessel is empty.
Big time. So like, and it was something that I can't remember what it was. It was like something for social media or something news. I can't remember what it was, but I was like, whoa, bro! It messed up my salah. It messed up my dhikr after. Like, it was like that's not the way to start. And that's actually a beautiful thing because you know, like you're supposed to start your day with dhikr, bro. Like you're supposed to start your day by saying Alhamdulillah alladhi ahyana ba'da ma amatana wa ilayhi nushur. The first 10 ayat of Ali Imran. You go pray, you know. Witr, or if you already prayed your witr before you slept, you know, you go pray your 2 rakat fajr, you go, wallah, it's just a nice way to start the day. Do you
So
understand?
here's a question:
Another
How would
thing
you
when
do
it
that?
comes-
How would you not look at your phone when you first wake up? Because the truth is, a lot of people, phones have existed for ages now. So the truth is, most people have this as like a habit. It's not
got the
something
sickest hack for you.
it doesn't fire on a
How
conscious
often
level.
is your phone more than 1 meter away from you?
I got the
throughout
sickest
day?
hack for you. I got the
Even you
sickest-
sleep, it's under your pillow.
I got the
or on
sick.
your
I got
bedside
the.
table.
I got the sickest hack for you. Is
Put your
when
phone in
you
another room.
put your phone
Yeah.
across your
How do you wake
room,
up?
because and this actually helps you wake up because when your alarm, most people be snoozing, right?
Not me, brother.
Okay, cool.
My phone.
No, but your thing's
But
different.
I have an
right?
alarm right next to my ear.
Okay, cool.
waking
But
up.
no, but you can buy an alarm.
Alarm clock.
You can buy an alarm clock. Does that make sense? But like most
Like
people,
like a analog or digital one. One of them
yeah,
things in the
just
corner.
buy something.
You can get alarm clocks that have like 4 small jigsaw piece puzzles. When the
Yeah.
alarm goes off, it fires them into the air, and you have to get up, find them, put
Yeah,
them down
yeah.
to turn the alarm
That's
off.
Yeah, it's proper, it's
Mad.
proper. So my point is, you put it on the other side of the room.
Nah, no, bro.
That way, you get up,
bro.
snooze it, and bro, you just get about. You just start your day. You don't look at your phone first. Or you might look at your phone. This. My point is, you don't start going on. My point is, you might check a message even quickly, even though it's best not to. But don't let the phone grab you early in the morning.
Also, your perspective of social media, like it really has to change. Like I remember there's one brother, right? He told his wife that he didn't want her to be on social media, not because she was posting herself on social media.
Distracts.
She was just using it to view friends or this. That she never had a single post. She never had a display picture, nothing. And I actually recommend.
I've
this,
actually
by the
noticed
way.
that a lot of people are like that. Actually,
I
they
actually
have like
recommend
ghost
this-
accounts.
Yeah, I recommend this for brothers. I personally would not advise to allow your wife to have social media. Yes, it's going to ruffle some feathers, and yes, the feminists are going to come at me. What do you mean allow? Yes, that's what I said. What I said.
But what if she's following
And the
like Islamic
reason-
accounts?
No, but the reason why is because, especially when it comes to, obviously with men as well, this applies to both, but with women specifically, they show that the Prophet made that to protect them from the dunya, because the dunya is the biggest fitna for them. So when they're online, and but naturally they'll see, whether they're following Islamic accounts or not,
They'll
they'll
can't as
see
long.
things from the dunya that someone else might have, or a certain particular thing, or a situation, or whatever it might be, and that will put things in their heart
Yeah,
and in their
entice them.
mind, start overthinking, this, that. Like, I genuinely just don't believe it's healthy, right? I know a brother, so he told his wife he wanted her to delete her Instagram. And he mentioned that she said, no, it will ruin my relationship with my sister. He was like, why? Oh, we only talk over DMs. So WhatsApp her then. No, like that's not how we communicate. Like,
Mad.
trust me, you don't understand it. If I delete this, my relationship, you're literally in a room, my relationship with my sister. Like, bro, I don't believe that's the case.
Yeah.
Like, I want you to delete. She's
Like
fighting.
how fragile does your sibling relationship have to be?
No,
that
even that, no.
Instagram account is enough
just-
to
It's a psychological
in the
thing.
brain. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
So in the end, he was like, I can't delete it. So she deleted it. After much, no.
back and forth.
And then, like a month later, he asked her, so she completely forgot about it. She asked us, like, how's your relationship with your sister? She was like, oh, yeah, like, calm, like, just chat on WhatsApp. I told you, innit? She's like, yeah, but just in the moment I just didn't see it. It's like, when a person is addicted to something or they want something and they know it, they can't see how bad it is. Like, remember the person in a toxic relationship, you're trying to get them out, you listen, this sister is mashing you up. He's like, I love her. But she does this for me. Yeah, bro, you don't see it right now because you're in the inside.
Yeah,
Step outside, change your perspective, and then you'll realize this is not healthy for you, my brother. So I feel like that's another thing as well, is change your perspective. if you're watching this thinking, I need it for this, I need it for that, I promise you don't need it. And I promise you the same things you say that you need it for, you can achieve those with other ways. Business, it's a bit of a nuanced thing. Even then, if,
No, but even business, for
if
example-
it's like very detrimental for you, like for example, if you're falling into haram now because of social media, but you have to delete it no matter what.
No, but I think that's more of
Can't
a
just type
producing
business.
as opposed to consuming thing, isn't it? Whereas like I actually put stuff out instead of scrolling. Putting stuff out is like one way, and then mindlessly scrolling is a kind of thing.
I would say there are very, very few people who are only producers and not consumers.
Yeah, no, but that's what you're
No, I
advocating
am.
for, innit?
I'm genuinely, as in,
No, I'm saying there's very few. Most people that produce also scroll.
Yeah.
Very hard to, once you're on the app, to post, you know what, let me just see. Oh, okay. Next thing you know, you've gone down 5 different rabbit holes. You've seen videos on 7 different conspiracy theories. You've watched a video of a giraffe giving birth, about submarines, and now about this.
so another thing I did was, remember when you I don't, is this only for the YouTube, what's it called, Premiere YouTube? What's the one you pay for?
Premium.
Premium. I don't know if this feature's only on the premium, but YouTube done this thing where you have to turn your history on for them to suggest videos. Is that across the board?
I think it's for everyone.
For everyone. Yeah.
Okay, good. So the moment they did that, I remember, I think it
That's
was you.
sick,
You were like,
yeah.
you have to turn it on. I was like, what? This is a blessing.
Yeah.
And when you open the app, there's no distractions.
Yeah. So I only go.
You only see the videos that you want to see.
Yeah, and search for
Can't lie,
what?
there have been times I've opened the app looking for a distraction.
No. It's not in there.
And nothing came.
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
And I went back to work.
There you go. There you
I
go.
was going to see a car video or you know, something, or, Johnny Harris documentary or whatever.
But no, that's the point. So it's big. Another thing which is big big thing when it comes to procrastination. Yeah, we have to understand procrastination. Sometimes your fault, sometimes other people's fault. Sometimes you get distracted. Does that make sense? Social media is one. Another thing is people distract you. So one thing that I found was that most people are either asleep or in the toilet or brushing their teeth or at work or doing something before Dhuhr, before 12. Does that make sense? So between Fajr and Dhuhr, that's the time where people are not really on bugging you. Does that make sense? And I noticed that, subhanAllah, Azim, after Dhuhr, bro, it's very hard, man, to get some work done. Number one, Salah, like, you know, when you get into when you get into work, there's a flow. Do you understand? And you want to kind of just work for a couple of hours without getting distracted, maybe take a break here and there. If you have to keep like going left, going right, do this, do that, answer this phone call, okay, now I'll go to the masjid, come back, it can hinder the workflow. Does that make sense? So, like, imagine you're trying to get into work after Dhuhr or just before Dhuhr, you get an hour in after work. Bro, now it's game over because, like, between each salah is like, you got like 2.5, 3 hours between each salah, and then back and forth, people are calling you, this, that. I'm not saying you can't get work done, you can. Does that make sense? But it's not the same as that early morning pure bliss, bro. Like, there's no distraction.
No, it's just that the Prophet ﷺ mentioned that the barakah is in the morning.
In the morning, yeah.
On that note, there's 2 things I want to do. I also want to go into some of the solutions, like this, like the 2-minute rule and stuff like that, like actual practical solutions. Also want to talk about the ideal day, how an ideal productive day should start off.
Before I do that, I just want to mention 2 things. Yeah?
Go for it.
One other thing I mentioned, I want to ask you a question because it's related to. So, on the issue of waking up early in the morning, the whole thing's connected to when you sleep at night. I deeped it. I deeped
You're
it.
right, but I've noticed here, since we've been back from Umrah, other than 1 or 2 days, I think, for some reason, no matter what time I sleep, I've been waking up mad early. I don't know what it is. But that's a complete, I just realised it's going to have to do this.
It's good. I mean, it's good.
Bro,
But
I'll be honest, every single guy who came on that trip has said the same thing so far. You said it as well. Saad said it as well. Even Abu Salih
is
said
that a
it.
blessing?
I don't know.
I think maybe, I don't know.
I'm thinking before Fajr.
Yeah.
Just wake up in the middle of the night with no alarm, nothing.
As in, you don't fall back asleep?
No, I can't. I struggle to fall back asleep, and then I'll come to your
Take
house and fall
melatonin
asleep
quickly.
on your sofa.
Just take take melatonin. So you shouldn't take it long term. You're right, by the way. Apparently, you can mash you up. Very unnatural. Yeah. But take.
I was right.
Yeah, it's good for like when you're jet lagged and whatnot. Just, you know what I'm saying? But you know, there's a blessing in that. You know, when you wake up in the middle of the night, the Prophet said, "Whoever says La ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lahu, wahdahu la sharika lahu, lahul mulku wa lahul hamdu wa ala kulli shay'in qadir. Subhanallah والحمد لله ولا إله إلا الله والله أكبر لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم." Whoever says that and then says ربي اغفر لي, makes any dua, their dua will be accepted. It's such a one time dua to be accepted. When you wake up in the middle of the night, you read that dhikr. Like,
Send that to me.
yeah, the way I tried to memorize it was I literally had the page open on my phone, and I sat with my phone next to me these times because I was getting up in the night regularly, and I was like, brother, I missed out on a beautiful opportunity. And not just that, the Prophet said, whoever then after reads that, makes a dua, then goes and does wudu and prays 2 rakat, that salah will be accepted.
Allah.
Yeah, it's actually a beautiful opportunity.
Okay.
But ala kullin, pop a melatonin, inshallah, which is a hormone that helps you sleep, right?
Yeah.
And hopefully go back to sleep. But the key here, wallahi, brothers, is getting your... I clocked, wallahi, it took me years to fix my sleeping pattern. It took me years to even deep this. Like, honestly, one of the top, 3 productivity hacks I have is just go sleep on time. I don't... Yeah, just go... And the best time to sleep, bro...
Straight after Isha.
Right after Isha. The Prophet would not like to speak after Isha unless it was what? Dhikr or talking to his wives. Unless there's a need to talk to someone. But after Isha, bro, you go sleep, bro. Go sleep. Sleep your 7-8 hours. You know, Imam Ibn Qayyim actually said the Prophet would sleep about 7 hours a day. Actually, man, do you know that?
I didn't know that.
No, this is... Well, I actually have...
Including the qaylula.
Yes, like in a day. So, and this one of the things that jars me is that people glorify not sleeping.
Bro, I used to do that.
I used to do that, bro.
I used to violate me for wanting to sleep.
Yeah, and I actually... But I came back to you and I said, bro, I respect your thing.
You did, yeah.
Now when he falls asleep, I say, yo, let man do his thing. Let man do his thing. Like, it's actually mad. When you don't sleep, bro, there's so many things to it. There's a guy called Tom Walter. It's like some sleep expert. Like, he's got a couple podcasts. He breaks it down.
What was the question you had for Abbas?
Question I have for you, my bro, is how... There's one thing that you do is mad. Allah barik. Sure. You were doing this before we started. When there's like a 5-minute interval, you open up your laptop, Allah barik, and you just start coding.
Yeah.
How that? I really struggle in small increments. So, okay, these like little 5 minutes, 10 minutes here accumulate to an hour, hours in a day. And in a week, accumulate out to tens of hours.
Cab journey, little toilet break.
What I find is that in those little 5 minutes or whatever have you, I always look for those and try to be productive. I might do dhikr.
Sorry, not toilet break.
I might listen to some voice notes that I have to listen to, work related, respond to an email here and there. Yeah. But I find those very hard for my big long-term tasks.
Okay.
So for example, let's just say right now, working on the lead magnet, right?
Yeah.
I'd love to be able to in 5 minutes quickly go just start working on it. But I can't, I don't know if it's a mental thing, but in my mind it's like...
I've only got 5 minutes, there's no point. It's
not even that, it's like to get into the flow, like... But Allah Barik, I know it's Allah Barik, you do this all the time. We might just be talking. Oh, his laptop just coding away. How'd you do it, bro?
I think it's because if I have thought, even Saul asked me this actually. I think it's because I know what I have to be working on at that moment at every point in time. So between the times where I'm not working, I'm still thinking about what it is that I have to do, what's going to happen if I do this, what's going to happen if I do that, how this might not be a correct solution and that might be, etc. I'm thinking about it between the times where I'm not,
is that not
actually
ADHD?
working. I don't know, maybe.
No, it's not actually. Do you know what? What you just said just made sense to me. I was watching this guy the other day, a couple of weeks ago actually. He was mentioning that human beings like things to be complete. You know the concept of commitment and consistency?
That's what I was going to talk about that after. Yeah, go on.
No, go on.
And so I was going to say...
Is that the same reason why people won't buy Bitcoin? Because it's like, I can't buy a whole. What's the point of buying 0.01?
It's one of the reasons, yeah.
Maybe, maybe.
Yeah. So for me... between the times where I'm working and not working, I'm still thinking about the task that needs to be done, and it actually helps me finish the task. So then when I open my laptop and I get it done, it just fuels the next time that I have to do that same
That's deep, because what the guy was saying was, he was saying when you're doing work, he said stop the point that, you know, when you finish your work, when you go on a break, he said don't like conclude and stop at like the end of a chapter, at the end of a task.
Yeah.
He said stop halfway. Because that will jar you and you'll be thinking about it the whole time and you'll just want to come back and finish it in that point. So where I started doing this now is that I notice if I'm reading a book, if I get to the end of a chapter, in my mind, it's like sometimes you think, oh, okay. Like in my mind, when I think
it's easy to quit there.
Yeah, it's easy to quit. Number one, number two. In my mind,
it's
you
like
think,
if you're playing a game, it's easy to stop at the checkpoint.
Yeah, and also like in your mind, when I sit down, I'm gonna finish chapter. So I'm like, chapter's a bit long, and I notice that when it's like a long chapter coming, I'm trying to find the right time to do it. Does that make sense? So what I started doing now is intentionally, like I'll finish a chapter and I'll carry on reading for a few pages, and when I'm at a juicy point, I'll stop, and I can't lie. Like even, what about any?
Fun, that's deep.
And I can't lie, bro. It's really helped me read a lot. Really helped me read a lot. But then the issue here, then I guess, is that you got to be upon clarity of what your task is.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So what bugs me is that I've got to do like 20, like work related. Like you saw my Notion, you saw what the tasks I have.
Yeah.
But I have to find a way to make sure I've got.
You have to pick one and just do that. Yeah. This is our first run doing something like this, but in the future we will know this one takes priority over this one, and you can do this one instead of that one, and this one will be blocked by that one, etc.
What about the 2-minute rule?
So if you have something to do and you don't have or you can't find time to do it, just start doing it and only do it for 2 minutes. Do it for 2 minutes and then stop. And you'll find
of doing it for 2
the
minutes?
benefit is that the mental block, basically the hardest part is before you start.
Yeah,
Do you understand? So the part that is the most taxing is the part before you've actually begun. So oftentimes, like for example, I say this to everyone who goes to the gym as well, which is that there's no perfect time. You'll never line everything up for you to start going gym. You just have to put your trainers on and go one day. And then once you go one day, you'll understand why people go.
That's literally what I did yesterday.
Yeah. You can't make the time for it. The circumstances are not going to line up for you. You just have to go. I was running out of time. So I'm usually on that side, so I can usually see the guy.
10 minutes.
No, it's deep. It's very deep.
What I was going to say though is that I think you shouldn't give advice from your perspective, because the truth is you have not only unique circumstances, but also you've been working on your own business and your own stuff for years and years and years and years. Most of the people watching this show, just because that's the most of people, they have for example, maybe a day job, maybe they go to school, they go to uni. They have one specific thing that they have to focus on. That they have to focus on, that they struggle to do so. So I think really simple, one-step solutions are helpful for those people.
Another thing that will really help in that situation is do something you flipping enjoy.
Yeah.
Do something that you're passionate about. Do something that because if your job or your studies or your degrees, you're just doing it for the sake of the job or for the sake of the degree because your parents wanted you to do it, or you thought you were told, that this is the way to success, but you don't enjoy it, you're not passionate about it, you're not going to want to do it.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to fight yourself every morning to do it. I'm sure you can all relate, sitting in bed thinking, I wish I didn't have to go into work today. I wish I didn't have to do this today. Whereas there are people in the world that wake up, I can't wait to get started today. I can't wait to do this project today. I can't wait to do this today. What's the difference between the two? One of them chose something that they knew they were going to enjoy.
Yeah.
And you didn't. And the chances are, if you do end up choosing something that you do enjoy, yes, for the short term, the pay might be less. For example, if you're really passionate about cakes, but you're working as an admin, and you hate admin, but you love cakes. Bro, selling cakes isn't going to make you the same money as an admin job would make you to begin with.
Yeah.
But with passion, with ihsan,
I don't know if I fully agree with that though.
you could really take it really far.
Yeah, no, what I was going to say though is that if you don't enjoy the spirit of the work, you should find something in there to enjoy. So for example, one of my first jobs, I worked as a picker and packer in a warehouse. Shout out to Siraj. He got his uncle to give me a job in East London. And
I remember those days.
I didn't enjoy
I'm pretty sure I made you quit.
yeah.
Right?
No disrespect to Uncle Manu, but I didn't enjoy the job at all. I didn't actually.
So you were a picky packy.
I did. Yeah, I didn't like it at all. But the part that kept me going throughout the time, obviously I needed the job, right? But the part that kept me going every day was I have to beat my previous score. So the day before, I would get this many, and then now the day after, I have to get one more, two more, three more, something like that. And just that element of it, that little bit of gamification, I guess, made it way more tolerable for me.
Like that with,
I did that at EE as well. I did that at EE as well. So for me, I had to be the best closer at the branch. I wasn't going to let the other, and to be honest, they foster that competitive spirit in the first place. But to be honest, I already had it. So I wasn't going to let the other guys at my store get more sales than me, or sell to more business customers, or to more general customers.
How can we introduce competition into our workplace? Actually, you're a very competitive guy. I'm also quite a competitive guy. How can we introduce
That's a good question.
Don't worry.
Competition?
We'll bring that one in next time. They're called story points.
Can we bring humiliation in as well?
Pardon?
Humiliation.
I don't understand how you can...
That will get to me.
How would that
I
work?
think it will be humiliating enough if you are blocking someone else's tasks, or because I could sense today. We had a meeting this morning. I could sense today when I told you, "Have you reviewed this yet?" Because Abid and Sammy, they need to move forward, and you were there like, I could feel that. You were like, "Oh damn, I don't want to be the roadblock. I don't want to be their
Humiliation,
bottleneck."
as in what? Like, as in at the end of the month,
As in
whoever just did least dash tomatoes at you.
No, just make an issue of so you flopped, yeah. Come on.
No, we can make a worst employee of the month.
Yeah, I can't lie, bro. That stuff helps me personally. But look, I actually look. I don't know if I agree fully, bro, with your point. Even though I know I used to be on that wave of do something you enjoy, because truth be told, everything that I ever enjoyed, when I started doing it seriously, it became painful. Because
No, as
when
in
you
there's an element which
and not only that,
you have to do what's required.
and not everyone, like, you know, when I ask this question to most people, what do you enjoy? You know, people who don't have a business idea. If I ask them, what do you want to do? What do you enjoy? Games. Playing football. And then I would just force a way to find a way to make a job out of that. But truth be told, bro, that's dead. Did you get me? Like,
No, I disagree.
Okay, can I just make one point?
Well, go on.
So what I believe is more important is become good at something through discipline, and the feeling of achievement is what when you keep repeating that is what will make you enjoy it. Like when you keep doing this, you'll be rewarded. Like whether it be people applauding you, praising you, prize, money, success,
you can
achievement,
do that
dopamine, whatever have you.
in a field of something that you're passionate about.
No, look, I remember.
No?
We'll talk about passion in a second,
Basically,
but
I
most
guess
people don't
what
know
he's
their
trying to say-
passions.
Yeah,
Most
that's what
people
I
don't
was
know
gonna
their
say. The truth
passions.
is,
You get
if
me?
you ask somebody,
So you can create a passion.
What do you love? What do you enjoy? Some of
most
the
people do know
time,
their
some of the
passions.
time, it may not be
For example,
monetizable.
one of my passions is cars. So automatically now, if I start from a rental company, and it needed,
But you know your passion. Not
marketing.
everyone knows their passion.
For example, I'm just saying, and it needed some marketing done. I would be a lot more likely to start studying and reading books and doing this, doing that for marketing for my car company, as opposed to, for example, if I was working as a door-to-door
But you're only
salesman
saying
for
that
soap.
because you know marketing as well. You've already been introduced to marketing.
Okay, not marketing as a sales then.
But it's because you've been. Most people haven't been introduced to
It
these
wasn't
things.
I haven't been introduced to.
I'm saying you're forgetting that most people, not to disrespect, but
Camera work. Okay, no. What's something that I haven't been introduced to? For example, top of your mind.
Knitting.
knitting.
Knitting as in being a knitty, or knitting as in knitting?
knitting.
But what would I knit for my
Car seats.
car rental company?
Maybe like
That's a stretch.
customized knit
Headrest.
headrest, whatever. The point that I mentioned is that I feel like, and this is going off what people have told me. Most people have told me this, that when you start doing something that you enjoy as a job, as work, the stresses that come with meeting deadlines, payments, targets, having to get up in the morning, give up other things that you enjoy just to make it work, can actually become, it can become a bit more painful. Does that make sense? And you don't enjoy that as much.
Definitely.
So I was watching this guy called David Goggins. I don't really encourage people to watch these kuffar because obviously they swear a lot and whatnot. But he said something deep that really just, it rocked my metaphorical jaw, bro. Like it really rocked me. Yeah. Basically what he said is, he runs something like 20 kilometers every morning. And he wakes up in the morning. First thing he does every day, he runs 20 kilometers, 20 miles or something ridiculous number.
Does he carry a boat? Is he the one that carries the boat?
He's the one who carries the boat. He said, yeah. So anyway, he was asked, that's what you love running? He said, I hate it. That's why I do it. And I make sure I do it first thing in the morning. I get it out of the way. I was like, that's mad. Like that, bro, that level of discipline. Like, as in for him, he understands because he's trying to be one of the fittest, healthiest men in the world or whatever have you, right? May Allah guide him. I mean, but point being is that he's understood that my cardio, my VO2 max or whatever it is has to be impeccable. And I'm not going to get that done without this running thing. And this running thing, I hate it, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it every morning, get out there first thing in the morning. Does that make sense?
That also goes back to what I was mentioning earlier about the discipline. As if you start your day with an action of discipline, you're more likely to be disciplined throughout the
Yeah,
day.
But not
they
just
call
that,
that,
do the hardest thing first.
Yeah,
Get it out
they
the way.
call that eating the frog.
Yeah, eat the frog.
Kill the
You guys
cow.
heard of
Right,
eating the frog? So imagine you have to eat a frog every day. It's on you now. Now you have to eat a frog every single day.
I mean, if you're French.
No, you have to eat
Loving
the
it.
frog every day. It's raw. It's alive. You have to eat every day. How are you
Dash in
gonna-
your mouth.
When? What time of day are you gonna do it?
Early in the morning, bro.
You're gonna do the first thing, bro. If you
Bro.
delay eating the frog, you have another one to eat tomorrow.
Bro, furthermore,
So you have to eat it now.
Bro, furthermore, I ate the frog as well. I'll tell you what. You know when you gave me that minerals thing?
Yeah,
So I think I tried in the middle of the day.
yeah.
And you know me, I've got this thing with taste, whatnot, textures, da da.
What was it from frogs?
No, it was green though. So when I tried it, the Andrew Huberman guy was like, no, it tastes nice.
Yeah.
I put it in my mouth. I was like, you know what? As with everything, it could even taste nice. In my mind, I didn't like it, and I retched. So Abid looked at me, may Allah bless Abid. He said, no, you have to do this, bro. You have to get healthy, bro. So I don't know what it was. I just said, first thing in the morning, rude boy. Bro, I would literally get up, do my dhikr in the morning, like, you know, when you get out of bed, and I will go and down this drink, and I started to love it.
Mad.
But I got the frog out of the way early. And it was green as well.
Really appreciate it.
If you could give
Good friend gave me
one line
a basket is good gifts, you know.
if you could give
very
one
much.
line,
Like gives you healthy gifts.
one line of advice for the people that are watching before we conclude, what would it be regarding procrastination?
The most valuable asset that you can never own is your time.
The most valuable asset
You can never own
you can never own
is your time.
is your time. If you can't own it, what can you do with it?
You can use it.
Use it.
Yeah. You'll have it for a while and then you won't have it.
Use it, don't abuse it.
Imam Ibn Qayyim rahimahullah ta'ala said that the majority of the screams that are coming from the people of hell are due to procrastination.
It's because of sofa. Because they sat down on the sofa. They didn't do anything. Like,
Sofa in Arabic means later.
later.
Does that make sense? So they're saying, oh snap, Allah send me back so I can do good deeds. Send me back so I can pray.
Yeah.
Because they procrastinated in the dunya. They kept putting off good deeds until the angel of death came and took them. Procrastination takes to hell, bro.
Yeah.
I don't think I can top that. So with that said, we'll see you on the next episode of Chat with my Bhai. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.